As you were. We're going to go left.
It says go right for me.
I know everyone else went right, but apparently you can go left. Didn't you say that?
Yeah, but no, I don't want to do it now.
What was the left rule? What was your information about left?
Gareth said you can go left and it's a bit more twisty.
Perfect.
Left. But it might be a mile.
Left it is. This thing is an absolute peach. Woohoo! Bit of gravel, bit of gravel. I don't know if you can hear the popping and burbling, what's going on every time I shut the throttle, but it is immensely satisfying. One of my all-time favourite road bikes was the KTM 890 Duke-R. It was just so good. And I think this might topple that because it has the added advantage of being a sports bike, and I do like a sports bike. And even on this rough bumpy old road, it's an absolute riot. That 990 engine just has such a good blend of punch and torque, but the ability to rev out when you need to. I'm normally a bit of a V-twin fan, but of all the parallel twins I've ridden, this is by far my favourite. Just that shunt at the bottom and then enough room at the top of the revs to hang on to the gears a bit longer. It's just paradise. It looks freaking awesome. It sounds amazing. It rides really well. Seems to be super stable whatever we do to them. We did some proper fast riding earlier, hitting bumps at silly speeds. No complaint at all from the bikes as we've ridden them. And then get it onto, I mean, this is pushing our luck with small road, but second and third gear roads, I'm struggling to think of a bike I'd rather be riding. It just flicks side to side so easily, but feels stable when you clip a big unseen bump in the middle of a corner. It doesn't do anything nasty. There's plenty of brake there, but again, the brake has good feel, so you don't feel nervous trailing it right deep into these corners. This might be the most beautiful road ever as well. Oh. There's a whole load of features and clever technical things to talk about on this bike with this new dash, and but I kind of don't want to talk about them because to me the riding experience is the special bit. Great feeling engine, a great sounding engine. Okay, you can get it to shake his head. That is a rough bit of road in its defence. But it's just a bike that begs you to go out and find the next awesome road and tear down it 20 times. I cannot wait to get it on the track tomorrow, but so far it has proved itself a really good sports bike. It's definitely not the most comfortable bike in the class. I get that on record now. They've struck a balance. I mean, come on, it is KTM. They were unlikely to take the most conservative approach to this class of bike. But it's not extreme in any way. It's not buried on your wrist. It's not hard work to be on for any length of time. But it is still definitely a sports bike riding position. Yeah, if you start riding through villages at 30 mile an hour, you are going to find yourself doing the old elbow on the tank cruise.
Yeah, baby.
For me, a great sports bike needs to do 3 things. 1, it needs to be awesome on track. I don't mean the fastest bike around it, I mean it needs to be awesome. It needs to make you smile, feel good when you're pushing it, and excite you when you do so. 2, a great sports bike needs to feel special. It needs to feel excited. It needs to be a bike that when you park it up and walk off, you have to sit and take a look at it again. You have to look back. It needs to be not necessarily pretty, but striking. Something that you just keep staring at and it looks fast even when it's parked on its side stand. Which sounds like a load of wishy-washy marketing bollocks, but they do have to have that little something special that makes you love them. And third, they have to be an occasion to ride on the road. Good road handling on the fun roads sort of goes hand in hand with track, although the actual suspension setup will differ. But it has to be exciting to ride on the road. It has to be fun. It has to make you want to go out and ride it for the sake of riding it, even if it's not on amazing roads. And there's a few things this RC does really well in that respect. 1, the noise and the burble and the sound of that exhaust. It's a stock exhaust, but it sounds gorgeous. When you look in the tip of the silencer, there's a little honeycomb spark arrestor type thing, the middle of which is burnt a nice purpley blue colour on every bike after a first hard ride. Silly tiny detail, but special. Makes you feel excited when you see it. Definitely not a humdrum commuter bike. On top of that, when you roll off the gas, it burbles and pops into the corners, not in an offensive way, but just in a kind of cool race bikey type way. Now we know this stuff's all mapped in on purpose these days, and with fuel injection there's no need for unburnt fuel burbling through the exhaust on a road bike, but don't care. It's cool. It sounds cool. Adds to the occasion of riding it. And then there's this riding position. They've done a lot of work with the ergonomics of the tank to give you room for your elbows, support for your knees, room for your belly if you've got one. And then sculpting the fairings into the side of the tank, the fact that the seat itself is molded into the seat unit. All those little details just make it feel like a special little race bike to ride. It's very easy to slip into Danny Pedrosa, Brad Binder MotoGP fantasies, insert name of your favourite KTM racer here, while you're bombing along on this. And that is important, because there's a lot against riding a sports bike on the road. They're not that practical. And so it needs to be balanced out with a sense of excitement, a sense of something special. And genuinely, I think this bike does a good job of that. It feels special. It doesn't feel like a warmed up Duke with a funny fairing put on it. It does feel like a sports bike in its own right. I'm falling for it hard. If we want to look for things to criticise, you've got to split hairs. it's not the most razor sharp handling. It doesn't perhaps have that same kind of knife edge front feel that the Yamaha has, but it also has a bit more stability and control and less likely to shake itself about than the Yamaha, so it kind of balances it back out there. And the engine, while it's the best parallel twin I've ever ridden, in my feelings anyway, it still does that parallel twin thing of sort of punching out of the corner well and then revving on forever, but there's no real surge at the top. It's still quite a linear power delivery at the top end, whereas the triple has that little bit of extra scream in the R9, and the Ducati's V-twin just has that slight more and no characterful V-twinny feel to it. But honestly, the more I ride this engine, the more I sort of fall in love with it anyway, for its own charms and own benefits. And don't forget, having a parallel twin grants you a lot of freedom with making the bike compact, making it small. They're really easy to fit in a motorcycle, which means lots of parts fit around them, and you can make less compromises elsewhere, fewer compromises elsewhere on the bike. So it's all a balancing act. And I know there's still going to be some bad blood about KTM parallel twins. They had a spectacular PR disaster in the not very distant past, but no reported problems on 990s that they're aware of and that I'm aware of, and they have acknowledged their poor response to customers with the 790 and 890 issues and addressed them. So there's an argument for saying that the company that's just had a big camshaft disaster has probably now got the strongest camshafts in the world, because you'd have to. You just simply have to. KTM is back. Long live the crazy.